epic 8 overtimes, and I don't know, somebody have to tell me how many conversions were made by either team. It seemed like maybe 2 or 3. I mean, the defense made a lot of stops. What a great game. I was a part of that. The Auburn, I think, 96, where it was 5 or 6 overtimes, and it just seems like one play is going to make or break it. But our seniors, our team, our leadership, they don't flinch, and they find a way. 14 points down with, 5 minutes left. Carson never blinked, and defense made a stop and got a turnover.
It's 62 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I'm having nightmares right now.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bed Bath & Beyond. Nothing says football like scented soap.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, it wasn't necessarily a case of being soft yesterday. That's for sure, especially after the hit occurred. The game that will forever be known as the one of the dirtiest plays that you, as a Jaguar fan, have seen inside the bank. That's for sure. Welcome into a Macalma Beer Company Monday. Hopefully everybody has eaten up all that turkey, whatever you ended up turning it into, turkey salad, whatever leftovers. You still may have some in the fridge, but hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving Day, long weekend, little respite, lot of ball, plenty to look back on from all that took place really from Thursday on. But as you can expect, the top topic is going to be what happened to Trevor yesterday. So welcome in XL Primetime for the next couple of hours. Big Search was busy with this topic, no question about it, yesterday on the fifth quarter. Matty, Search, me, we'll all get into it today. But honestly, before we even look at the game, before we look at the they came back, they made it another loss at less than 5 points. But the game will be remembered for what happened to Trevor Lawrence. How animated was it yesterday on the fifth quarter, Big Search?
It was.
Because when I checked in, you guys were really fine.
Yeah, it was pretty animated. We had a lot of fans that were upset, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because the hit was egregious, it was malice, it was ill content, and it was nasty, to be quite honest with you. And the fans let it loose, because that's our guy. You know, whether he's good or bad, he struggles, he's our guy.
Yeah.
All right, he's our Duval guy, and we're going to protect him with all we can. So we talked about as a former player, here's the one thing you do: you compete against other teams. You're physical, you get after it pretty good, but the intention of hurting someone is never in our repertoire.
Right.
No matter how physical the game gets, you don't, because we understand that we're a brotherhood. We understand that this is a very physical game. It's real fast and people get hurt, but you never intend to try to hurt anybody. And I think that intention was to try to hurt Trevor because he launched himself with a brace on his arm to his forehead.
Right. The classic
and under his chin. Yeah, you don't do that. Now, me and Coach Campbell was talking about that off the air. Now, in our day, so to say, that shot was commonplace. But because the quarterback and concussions and everything, you try to protect players, no matter who it is, especially the quarterback position. You can't launch at a guy like that. But I'm going to tell you what I was proud of. I was proud of, first and foremost, Evan Ingram. You know, getting on them. And then the rest of the guys leaping on him because he's supposed to get mud stomped. Yeah. And he did. Yeah. And we had an old practice back in the day that I was taught that if something happens to your quarterback, if someone hits him illegal or something like that, that you grab up and you launch him into your side of the sidelines.
Okay, so get him going in that direction. That way reinforcements come in, right?
Brilliant idea.
Brilliant idea. Oh, yeah. And I knew it had to be an offensive lineman. He had to be taught well. But you pick him up, you know, and you toss him to our side, and then there's a lot of guys, not a lot of cameras to see him, but he's supposed to get stomped out. Yeah. And I know a lot of people saying, well, Leon, he's supposed to get stomped out. When he did what he did, he's supposed to, he was the villain, and we treated him accordingly.
Yeah, because those are, honestly, Matt, when you're talking about shots to the head, they can potentially be career enders. And I don't think that's over the top. I don't think that's dramatic. Nothing like that. Because we have seen, particularly with what has gone on with Tua Tagovailoa, over the last 3 seasons that you can see a guy's career just basically come to an end little by little, right in front of your Sunday NFL eyes, if you're not careful. Anyway, it was just a vicious shot.
It's a brutal game.
Yeah.
It is a brutal game.
No
Leon
doubt.
talks about it all the time. It's a car accident every play. There's no doubt about that, okay? I think the thing that really struck me was not only the intent, which there was clear intent.
Yeah.
There was nothing, I slipped, or, he moved a certain way and I just went into him. There was clear intent there. Not only that, but the way the rest of the league reacted and other players in the league reacted on social media. Not the league itself, but players in the league and media that covers the league, the way they reacted, it was obvious. It was a brutal hit. It was an uncalled for hit. And the league has a problem right now because you cannot allow that crap to continue to happen, especially with a guy who has a history of violent behavior on the field.
Just this past week.
Yeah. So I think, look, and Leon, you said 2 games, and I understand that, but there's
No, tell him what you're saying. Suspended
2 games, right? You said suspended 2 games
at minimum,
right? To me, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be, and I don't think it's going to be as long as Trevor stays out because I think Trevor's done. Shut him down. He's done. It's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, there's 5 weeks left in the season. So.
I think this guy's minimum 4-game suspension for me.
Well, he'll get a 4-game suspension because he has a history. If he has a history of this kind of violent play. So I mean, he's had a history before this shot on Trevor. He had a hit on Caleb Williams that was kind of suspect during the game. And he had another hit.
Well, Troy
But
Pollard.
they don't lose checks for that, do they? When they get suspended?
Oh, yes, they do.
They do lose checks.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good then.
When you get ejected from a game, that's a game check. That's cha-ching.
Yeah, Tony Pollard this past week, he got fined for that.
See, that's kind of that kind of reinforces my point. The way you tell everyone in the league that you're not standing for this crap anymore is you say the next guy that does this should get suspended for 4 games. This is what's going to happen. There's the precedent.
Yeah, his Christmas is done. They're taking them checks.
And so, anyway, you guys can definitely hit the text line 641-1010, especially if you were in the bank yesterday, because so many different reactions and thoughts that I heard from fans inside the stadium, and then obviously everything that's gone on after that. Trevor, through social media, letting you know that he's feeling better, and thanks for all the well wishes that he received. But it just all of a sudden, just everything just went crazy, and it didn't end. That's how pissed off the players were on the sidelines and in Teal yesterday. And there was, okay, it's on now type of feeling. And they didn't lose their composure or get out of control and start a fight every play after that. But at the same time, you got to make sure you let those other guys know that ain't going down in Duval.
Yeah, well, there was a little fire initially after the hit. I mean, because I think the Jaguars called, like, maybe, Matt, you tell me, they was 6 to 8 run plays, because that's how you let the offensive line get back on the defensive side of the ball. Even though they had nothing to do with it, it was one of their players. We got after pretty good on the run game, and I said that's what you do. A coordinator, if he's smart, he knows that the offensive line is riled up. So what you do, they're pissed off. Yeah, so what you do is you allow them to attack the defense for allowing one of their own to do that to their quarterback. And I think for the most part, the Jaguars' offensive line ran the ball effectively, but then after that, it kind of just, it kind of went away. Me and Matt was talking about this when we was we were texting each other. We said if they can't find a way to win this game, then
and I totally
because there's motivation. Right. There's motivation when they take a cheap shot on one of your guys.
Right.
There's motivation to go out there and get after him pretty good.
Yeah, and I
think for the most part they did.
The one thing that did become apparent is that they were very poor on third down. We know how terrible they are at running the football, period. And they did actually get a couple of chunk plays going in the run game. They didn't break off any big runs, but they actually moved the chains, which is something that they hadn't done before that. It was honestly another awful offensive performance before that happened, and it continued on until they finally caught fire late in the game. And Mac had a chance to hook up with Parker Washington for more than one score, and then ultimately was able to get things going in the end and make it another interesting game at the end, a 3-point loss, something that you guys, all of Duval, has endured way too often. What is this, 6 losses by 5 points or less? And so they were ticked off. They did get a little bit going, but yeah, it's still the same team lacking talent.
Yeah, well, you know what? Matt asked me a question last week. He asked me, say, Leon, when does it come to a point where you get sick and tired of losing? And I told Matt that obviously this team doesn't get sick and tired of losing because the way they lose is the same mistakes that they've been making for the last couple of weeks, putting themselves in long yardage situations, illegal procedures, breakdowns in communication and coverage, lack of pass rush, inability to stop the run at crucial moments, offsides, penalties, that kind of stuff. If you're sick and tired of losing, you don't keep doing the same things that's costing you football games.
Right.
That's the most frustrating thing. When I look at the Jaguars, they keep doing the same things. If you say you're sick and tired of losing, then the mental errors and the bust would stop. The illegal procedures, all that kind of stuff kills drives.
And once again, they got down after the big, beautiful play. Just a nice little crossing route for Brian Thomas. He takes it for 56 yards into the red zone. Next thing you know, there's another penalty. And it was a delay of game.
Yeah.
And those things you just can't have. Now, operationally, backup quarterback versus your starter, I get all that. But at the same time, it's got to be humming. You've got to know what you're doing. And it kind of speaks to what you're talking about. All right, so 641-1010, you guys jump in on that. It was ugly, that particular hit. The season's been ugly. You're now looking at a double-digit loss team against a 2-win season that this team has had so far. You got the Tennessee Titans that you're going up against coming up on Sunday, and it's down to a 5-game season. If you were in charge, what would you do with Trevor? You definitely can let us know. You can jump in the YouTube chat there or hit us on the text line at 641-1010. So that game, coupled with everything else that we saw in the NFL, honestly, it is setting up for the reality that this football team will now have another number 1 pick in 5 years' time. And if Trent Baalke is still at the controls when that happens, I'll puke. I think a lot of other ones would puke as well, because that's what we're looking at. And then the news comes out yesterday that he's inked Walker Little to a long-term contract and actually at a decent price, not a terribly bad price. But is he the answer at that left tackle spot, or how are you visualizing that? Anyway, that'll be another one of the talking points.
Yeah, that was another one of the outrages in the 5th quarter, is that Walker Little got a deal. Not that Walker Little got a deal, but the fact that Trent Baalke handled the deal, which implies that he might be here again next year.
By the way, speaking of handled, Walker Little handled Danielle Hunter yesterday. So
Danielle's been pretty dang good this year.
He's had a really good year. So that's a very good positive there. The one negative from that entire game yesterday, and you hate to be the guy that says this, but that injury all but sealed the first overall pick. No doubt about it. They're not winning again.
It does, because you get the feeling that it should be a shutdown, no gain situation, right?
Have to.
Shut it down, nothing to gain. And that's what I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? If Trevor feels good, is he going to say, "Hey, I want to play"? I think we don't know the concussion protocol that he's going to have to go through. But man, I would be real hesitant.
Yeah, but that's going to be at least 2 games. I think Fred Taylor after the game said something that you take it away from Trevor, him coming back, just putting him on IR.
Yeah.
If you put him on IR, then you take away his ability to say, "Hey, listen, I want to come back and play and try to help this team."
Not only that, it's his second concussion.
In 12 months.
Stop fooling around with it, man. Shut him down. Let him get a nice, long rest.
Yeah, just to kind of give you an idea of where we are, this has been now twice in concussion protocol in less than a year's time, because it was the Baltimore game last year. That was, December 18th, something around that neighborhood. He came back and played the next week, which was December 26th against Tampa. We all know that the Buccaneers roughed him up. He ended up getting hurt again and then missed the game against Carolina. So that's 2 in less than a year's time. And then also, just speaking of a year, Thanksgiving weekend last year, this football team beat that football team. And this football team was playing for first place when they were going into the Monday night game. That's how much has changed. 18 games later, they've lost 15 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was injured for the better part of the second half of the season last year.
Yeah.
Constantly injured because they couldn't protect him.
Yeah.
And the general manager and the head coach, their response to that was, "We're standing.
Yeah.
We're standing with this offensive line."
Yeah.
Other than throwing Mitch Morse in there for basically it's a wash.
Right. And
it's a wash right now.
Yeah, like I defend Mitch Morse because I think he's been okay, but the line, generally speaking, and he is included in this, they've just been to stand in that backfield knowing that you're about to get the handoff and you're going to be met with just a firm defensive tackle trying to swat you in the backfield. You've barely moved. You've barely gotten the football in your hands, and that defensive tackle is in the backfield ready to slap you to the ground. Yards after contact are happening in the backfield for the Jaguars running back.
Yeah, because we're not getting any movement. That one particular play where Travis Etienne got tackled in the backfield, it was a power G play where the center was going to block the nose. They were pulling the guard, and Mitch Morse couldn't get any penetration. Next thing you know, the nose guard is sitting right in the hole that Etienne is trying, because Mitch Morse is trying to position block him instead of coming off the ball and being physical.
Meanwhile, Joe Mixon,
they're like two fat man dancing.
Meanwhile, Joe Mixon just kind of glides through blockers and not really meeting any contact until well after the line of scrimmage. It just drives you crazy. All right, I said if Trent Baalke is making that selection, I will puke. And Cogs, one of our listeners, he's already said, I will hold the puke bag for you. So I know that you guys are feeling the same way. So let us know what you're thinking, just as far as what you got out of yesterday, how ticked off you were when that went down, if you were in the building, if you were watching it, whatever you're. Just kind of take us back to that moment with you as a fan. 641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. And Mocama Beer Company Monday. Don't forget, every single day of the week, you can enjoy delicious coffee there. They've got it set up, beautiful tap room right there in Fernandina Beach on South 8th Street. And then Tuesday through Sunday, delicious craft beer. They serve it up every single day, always with new brews that they can debut and you can enjoy. And then, of course, their classics like Cosmico. Definitely check it out. Motor and Rare Cargo, so many other good ones. Just check it out right there in Fernandina, and then also in Wildlight or on the shelves at ABC and Total Wine. You can log on to mocama.com.
The weekly Pick'em contest.
Is this what I think it is?
Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza, just not enough for a party. Flip a coin. Make your picks at 1010xl.com.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. We're moving closer and closer to the playoffs in the NFL, and that's a perfect time to play with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. Think Joe Burrow will throw for more than 2 touchdown passes, or James Cook will rush for more than 60 yards? It's just that simple. And now you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. That's right. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit and cash out as quickly as 15 minutes. Now, here's the best part. Prize Picks is the only money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. That means your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, and get $50 when you play 5. It's all there at Prize Picks. Run your game.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split AC Plumbing and Electric.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, let my team go to work for you. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Logan Cook was slicing and dicing while in the Sunshine State. The Jacksonville punter tallied 191 yards on 4 punts, with his longest going for 64 yards. He left his opposition fried all game long and is your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Fear the Spear.
Plant your spear and get the latest news and notes from Tallahassee.
It's all about Tomahawk Nation on the Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
If your IT, data security, and your office copiers are operating perfectly, you must have hired ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, as your technology partner.
Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Play fake. Rolling to his left, looking downfield. Trevor's looking. He wants to run it to midfield. Slides and oh, he got drilled. What in the world? He absolutely got drilled, and there's a melee, and I don't blame him. He slid to the ground. He's still on the ground. That's about as cheap a shot as you'll ever see in the NFL.
It's a brawl. It's a flat-out brawl. And Evan Ingram went at the linebacker. The linebacker, Azeez Al-Shaair, hits Trevor Lawrence as he's going feet first down to the ground, and I think Trevor got KO'd.
What a cheap shot that was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was a dirty hit. I think, obviously, those hits are always in question. Trev was going down, and I saw it out of my peripheral. I got a pretty clear view of it, and in that moment, instincts it just didn't feel like a clean hit, so I just go stick up for my quarterback.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Instinct is right. That was Evan Ingram in the locker room after what went down yesterday on the field. You heard the call, cut courtesy of Jaguars.com with the play-by-play. in the reaction from Frank as he called it, and then Logs and Vaselli and the brawl that did take place, like you said, Leon, it's instant. You have attacked our guy. We have got to attack you back. It is as simple as that. And Evan Ingram was the first one there, and I totally agree.
Yeah, it's instinctive. When you see when your guys get pummeled like Trevor got pummeled, man, your first reaction is to jump on them, man, and rightfully so. And I don't condone violence or anything, but this particular moment and on that football playing field, he got what he deserved. That was he had malcontent. When you do stuff like that, when you launch your body at somebody's head and neck area, you with a brace and hit him underneath his chin and knock him out, bro. That's uncalled for. And there's no place for it in the NFL.
He's got some anger issues, bro.
Huh?
He's got some anger issues.
Yeah, he can have all he wants.
I mean, it's a brutal game. There's no doubt, but he goes beyond that. That's kind of my point.
He did. And listen, if I'm an offensive lineman, I'm just being honest with you. If I was on the Jaguar team and he's still on the team, I'm keeping receipts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, we don't play him no more this year. But next year we play him again. And now you're not trying to hurt him, but if you have a shot on him, you take it.
Well, tell your story, man. This is great.
I tell this story all the time because it happened to me. Okay, I was with the Pittsburgh Steelers and we played the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And Romanowski was a linebacker on the play. So I'm on a double team with a tight end. I come off, I scrape. He's playing middle linebacker, and I hit him. I hit him with a good shot, and I knock him to the ground. So I'm getting off the ground. He said, "Get off me, fat boy." He ain't didn't. When I get off of him, I say, "Who you talking to?" So he threw a punch. I threw a punch. When I get up, he kicks me in the groin, kicks me in the family jewels, so to say. So I couldn't get back at him, right?
Oh my God!
But the big fella keeps receipts, right? So 2 years later, we're playing the Denver Broncos in the divisional round of the playoffs, and I'm with the Jaguars, and we're up there, whatever. And he's playing middle linebacker again. Same play. See, this how you know God is good, because it's the same play. This how you know God is good.
Moves the puzzle pieces, man, every time.
Karma comes back to you. It doesn't matter. It comes back to you. Same play, right? Double team right there. Romanowski is scraping. He doesn't see me. And I unloaded on him, I swear. I'm telling you, he flew. He flew. Oh, he thought I forgot. And I walked over to him and stood over him and said, "I didn't forget." That's how you keep receipts, bro.
And by the way,
keep receipts.
That's how you do that, man.
And he is one dirty SOB.
Yes.
So he deserved everything you gave to him.
I felt
that's for sure.
No remorseful.
All right, so this off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and there's definitely been a handful. Brenton Strange took him under the bench, and Strange was another guy that was right there on top of it. Brandon Sheriff was another guy right there that started it, and so there were multiple guys that texted in and said, give Brenton Strange some credit, because he was one of the guys that basically got in on Al-Shaair very quickly, and then a few others that have come in. And this is a fair question, and I know that you wanted to see Trevor back on the field because you wanted to see if you could get in position to win a football game. Mac Jones, we know, is a good, capable backup, but he's not the answer. Anyway, the texter, Joe C., if Trevor has a bad shoulder, why is he trying to gain 8 yards for the first down? Plus, you got to know Texas have some dirty players. Well, just know this. As the game flow was going, Trevor was not playing very well. Okay, he had missed a couple of open guys. Pressure was on him. Offensive line not doing their share. They didn't get the run game going hardly at all. The Houston Texans, when they got the ball, they basically went down the field. Jacksonville couldn't get anything going. Trevor was just trying to jumpstart that bad boy. And they needed to keep the football if they could. And so, that's why he did it. But he did the standard, which was to try and get down. And then Al-Shaair just closed on him and decided to deliver the dirty blow, which is exactly what he did, man. And it just sucks all the way around. There was so much jumping around in that stadium, and I was looking just to see if there was going to be anything that went on inside the stands between Jags fans and Texans fans after that.
Yeah, we were clearly upset. I mean, I dropped a couple of F-bombs in the house because you don't come. I mean, it's bad enough the season is where it is, and then we're not playing the way we should be playing, and then our rival, the Houston Texans, takes a cheap shot on us when we're already down.
Right.
Kicking us when we're already down. So I was frustrated. I was naturally frustrated.
And look, in baseball, and sometimes it does take a little while for that get even moment to take place. But you obviously know pitchers can plunk batters. We've seen it, retaliation and all that. It doesn't necessarily happen in the National Football League like that. Doesn't mean it won't happen when you see them again next year. But, yeah, this team, that toughness that we've been talking about a bunch, they've got to make sure that they send that message back across the AFC South.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the message you'll send, I mean, as much as I want us to get him back, how you send a clear message to a team like the Texans is you get good again.
Win, yes.
Get good again. Hell, we're trying to get him back.
I loved your story. It's awesome.
Get good
but
again.
At the end of the day, I mean, you can be spiteful about what happened. How about, like, winning a game? Start there before you do anything else. I will say this.
Yeah, scoreboard's everything.
Right. His teammates knew it was bad, too, because Jalen Petrie – so you see him make the hit, and as he's making the hit, Jalen Petrie's running up to safety.
Yeah.
And his hand's on the top of his head like, oh, my God, what did you just do?
Yeah.
Like, they all knew it was wrong. Yeah. Everyone did.
Yeah, and you have to uniform, you wear the same one, you got to back a guy and all that kind of stuff. But
not many of those guys did back him, by the way.
Yeah, that
like, you would think it would be a full-on, like, both teams going at it. There were only, like, a handful of Texans guys going in there to retrieve him. They knew what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
It was almost like, all right, well, you did it, now take your punishment.
One of our XL Primetimers texted in. I was in the East Spa Cabana for the game yesterday. I saw Trevor take off and run. And when he started to slide, I had a bad feeling. Awful sight. Knew he was in bad shape immediately. And you couldn't help it. You could not help but know immediately. And just imagine if that was on a field turf surface as opposed to good solid ground underneath. He did take a shot with his head bouncing off of the surface, but at least it wasn't artificial turf or field turf, which was a little bit better. But yeah, when you saw it, you knew it was just bad.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to keep your eyes on the people around him and then what's going on the sidelines, and we're up in the press box looking straight down, and then it starts to take place again when they ejected him, and they threw a flag on Evan Ingram and ejected Jarian Jones, which was just ridiculous.
But here's the point, too, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, okay? I'm just saying those are like career-ending hits, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that can very easily lead to, like, extending damage where you don't recover. I'm not saying that's where he's going to be. I'm just saying those hits like that are dangerous. Leon, if that thing happens, like, at the old Three River Stadium on that turf, oh my God, it's over, man.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a potential head, neck, spine injury.
Yeah,
I mean, because how vicious it was. I mean, underneath his chin. I mean, it hit right underneath his chin, and his head goes back and hits the turf like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even still, I bet he woke up this morning. His neck.
Oh yes,
his neck, his head, everything back. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
It sucked all the way around. And for a guy that was just trying to get back to where he could finish out the season and maybe get a couple of wins, just a little good vibe going, something for him, for the team, for the fan base, whatever it might have been, that's all out the door right now.
He can't seem to get into a rhythm right now. That's the problem. And it's been that way since the moment he came here.
Yeah.
They can't get him in a rhythm. They can't get him with good pieces around him where he's playing at a high level, because he's been doing it over and over and over and over, week after week after week, month after month after month.
Right.
He keeps getting things that are stopping and starting his development. I'm telling you right now, they're going to fool around and end up blowing this kid. I'm telling you they are.
Well, here's what I don't like about the NFL. This is where the NFL gets soft to me, okay? Officiating, all right? Mm-hmm. Offsetting penalties.
Oh,
there shouldn't have been no offsetting penalties.
No way.
The victim, the villain who initiated all this mayhem was the guy who hit Trevor.
Exactly.
So how about just calling the penalty on him instead of offsetting the penalties and stuff like that?
100% there. So let's take that, and you can hear the feistiness in Big Sirs. One of our texters, I'd like to hear what Big Sirs has to say about when a flag is planted in an opponent's stadium. So let's go from the NFL, what happened yesterday, to the college game. And, hey, listen, Mike Norvell right now is still trying to make sure that the flag does not get planted. Michigan with pepper spray applied from the Popo up there in the horseshoe when they went and planted their flag. All kinds of crazy.
Were those Ohio police? Had to be Ohio police.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Yeah, because you figure they were hired by. All right, so let's get into all that coming up, because it was a crazy Saturday. It was really a crazy Thanksgiving weekend in terms of upsets and setting up what might be just what you didn't expect in terms of the field of 12 in the college football playoff. We will do that coming up on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Anderson. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Anderson handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here. And fellas, we all know that athletes train every day to perform better on the field, right? But what if you could enhance your performance in the bedroom? No training required. That's right. I'm talking about that secret weapon, Blue Chew. A chewable tablet with the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and Staxin that ships right to your door in a discreet package. No doctor visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's all online. Their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. They also have Daily Tad that contains 7 essential vitamins. And it's chewable too. And now you can try Blue Chew for the free ski. That's right, for free on me. Visit BlueChew.com and enter my promo code 1010XL. You only have to pay $5 for shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's promo code 1010XL. Let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
Post-Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
1 second left. Packers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
Mia here for MyBookie. What a week and weekend we just had in the betting streets. Did you cash in betting with MyBookie? If you didn't, you have Monday Night Football tonight to get in on the action. The Cleveland Browns have extra rest as they travel to Denver to face the Broncos. Both of these teams are coming off a win, and the Broncos are 5.5-point favorites with a 42-point over-under. There's some people saying Bo Nix should win Rookie of the Year because the Broncos have been taking care of business against teams with losing records. Thus, I'd expect them to win this one by a touchdown and cover the spread at home against the Jameis Winston-led Browns. Guys, MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they dance and sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through Christmas, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, this is the ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $2,600, but right now they're on sale for $2,210. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 2nd, 1934, Miami quarterback Dan Marino breaks NFL's single-season touchdown pass record, throwing for his 37th, and the Dolphins lost to the Raiders.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 133541.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists, and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars edge rusher Josh Hines-Allen registered his 51st career sack on Sunday against Houston.
Shotgun formation for C.J. Stroud. Dropping the throw after a play fake. Looking. Now he's scrambling. He's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked. The Jags got him again. Josh Hines-Allen got him that time. Well outside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it at the 17. Great work by the Jaguar pass rush.
Frank Frangie with the call on Jaguars radio. Josh Hines-Allen is now 4.5 sacks away from breaking the franchise sack record of 55 held by Tony Brackens. For Hines-Allen, it's sack number 6 of 2024. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
What happened there at the end of the game is not who we want to be as a program, okay? And it's embarrassing to me, and it's a distraction from a really well-played football game, right? So I want to apologize on behalf of the entire organization just in terms of how we represented the university there. We shouldn't have done that, and we won't do that going forward, and there'll be consequences for all involved, okay? So
it's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
That was Billy Napier, not Billy Napier. Napier talking after the Gators beat the rival, Florida State, up in Tallahassee, and they went with that whole plant the flag in the middle of the field, and it did not go well, including Mike Norvell, the opposing head coach, charging in there. And when you see the video, there was definitely some swings and punches.
What was Norvell doing, man?
But think about this.
There was more fight after the game than during the game.
Yes,
where's the fight? Where's the fight during the game? They got all this energy now.
So think of the 4 rivalry games, like the big ones, NC State and North Carolina. This is Mac Brown's last game. Because they decided, University of North Carolina, that he wasn't going to coach anymore. After Mac said, I'm planning on coming back next year, they said, oh no, we got to fire him now. And so, unfortunately for Mac, he was told he's not coming back, so he gets to coach his last game. NC State tries to plant the flag. Then a North Carolina player tries to throw it up into the stands, so they're swinging. And then you've got, of course, the big game with Ohio State and Michigan. And it does say, Leon, let me see if I can find this here real quick. There were at least 4 of these rivalry games.
Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah, Auburn and Alabama. I was looking for one more. Anyway, this is from the Ohio State University Police, and they issued a statement saying, following the game, officers from multiple law enforcement agencies assisted in breaking up an on-field altercation during the scuffle. Multiple officers representing Ohio and Michigan deployed pepper spray.
Yeah.
Well, OSUPD is the lead agency for games and will continue to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they will investigate.
Yeah, I'm guaranteeing you there wasn't a single Ohio police force that decided to spray their own with pepper spray.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't have needed the pepper spray had, I don't know, the head coach of Ohio State not actually just stood there and watched.
Yeah, yeah.
Go sprint in the middle of it and say, get your ass in the locker room.
So somewhere between Mike Norvell and Ryan Day is what you're saying.
Well, what was Mike Norvell doing?
Yeah.
We just talked about this off the air. Mike Norvell actually runs in there and makes it worse by grabbing the Florida flag and throwing it.
Yeah.
Had that led to more scuffles and more of a fight, Florida State could have got out of that contract with him like that immediately.
Yeah. And maybe. I don't know whether I would.
No maybe about it. Believe me, if you go in there and start a brawl, you easily can get fired for cause.
I get you.
Well, I mean, wasn't this retaliation? Of course, I wouldn't know this unless Hacker had told me. Didn't we?
Hey, man.
They
dug up our field last year.
Remember they dug up our field last year, and they took our gator head and ran across.
Right,
the
but
stadium.
that's what you do when you win a game like that.
It's called a retaliation.
Right.
Yes, deal with it.
And I think I honestly don't know where I land with the whole plant the flag, but it's been going on. And the only way you stop it is by beating the team that you're playing. That's really the only way.
Right, how about getting fired up about protecting your home turf during the game?
During the game, the 60 minutes that you were involved in.
Yeah, we as bad as we were back in the day, as bad as we were, we never planted flags or anything like that. Now, we danced on your logo afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah, we'd do that.
And before, actually, you did too.
Well, yeah, that too. All right. But
that was like when Florida State, Miami were great in the 90s. They all, before the game, they would jump up and down on the logo at midfield.
Yeah, we would meet in the middle of the field. Absolutely. Yeah.
And infamous was the moment where Doug Johnson
threw the ball and hit Bobby.
Threw the ball and nearly took Bobby out. Did not hit him, but nearly took Bobby out, which would have been one
grazed him actually.
Oh my, yes, yeah. It was like, it was not a pretty scene at that moment. And
by the way, I want to be very clear here. Yeah. The flag planting and the rushing of the field are two completely different things, okay? Because the whole flag planting, all you got is a bunch of guys hitting each other with pads on.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares, all right? Get them off the field. The loser should get off the field. That's number one. When you got fans running on the field in the middle of players with pads on and taunting players, that's where you have a problem.
Well,
and not even to mention the shiv.
Yeah,
not even to mention the shiv.
Don't even bring the shiv in because the shiv has never appeared except for in your mind, fictitiously in your mind. It's because we would have heard about it. I would think.
Listen.
You would think, yes.
When you rush the field, I tell you, like the elders told me, if you run into grown folks' business, you get dealt with grown folks.
Yes.
You get dealt that way.
I've said it so often, whether it's court storming or field storming, there is a bunch of banana behavior that these kids, it's their.
But why though? I don't get that. Like, what would
they don't even know.
What would make a kid want to go run up to a guy that's 6'4", 300 pounds and say you suck? What would make them want to do that?
Most of them just run onto the field and run around. That's all they do. They get their video and their social media moment and all that kind of stuff. And let's face it, social media has upped a tick or 1,000 ticks, anything that goes on celebration-wise. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Because in your day, they weren't running out there with their Kodaks or Polaroids or anything like that. And so you were just rushing the field and celebrating and just soaking up the moment. Now, oh my gosh, that's all it is. It's X.
Now it's they're all waiting. They're all waiting for a player to react and to push them away or push them down, and then they get their video and they say, look.
No. See,
that happens all the time, dude. All the time.
I know, but you watch it as much as I do, Matt. And I just see too many of them that are just out there having fun. They're dorks. Okay, that's what they are.
They are dorks. There's no doubt about that.
And so basically 999 out of every 1,000 that gets on the field, they're just out there just to say they were there. Mm-hmm. And there's occasionally one, but they're not out there baiting or anything like that. Look, I love his reactions, his facial expressions. I mean, they're not.
When we lost to BYU,
believe me, there's a lot of those idiots running around screaming at players. Yeah. A lot.
There might be. Yeah, there might be.
I can admit in 90 when we lost to BYU and they stormed the field, a couple of Mormons probably caught a flipper or two. I'm not gonna lie.
A couple of more. Just a quick elbow.
Got a little arm. I can't promise you that didn't happen.
All right. So let's get to, of course, as they're filling up on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Leon is talking about this, so he doesn't have to talk about that. And
the game? Bring it on.
That would be Big Orange. Okay.
Ain't nobody scared. What are you talking about?
The fighting Trescas,
yeah.
The fighting persons, and all of them that are out there that I know that they love the cues. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost. A disappointing loss, and if we don't make the playoffs, deservingly so. I mean, you can't be when you're on the road and you're up 21-0, and then you lose 42-17.
Dude.
That's ridiculous.
That was like Florida State-esque is what that was.
It was.
That was very similar to that 94 when Florida was up 31-3, the choke of dope.
Bro, we had all the momentum.
Everything
going for us. I felt comfortable smoking my cigar, watching the game, and then all of a sudden I had to sit up and watch the game.
You know, when it was 21-0 and Syracuse went right down the field and scored, I thought to myself, all right, this thing is not over. There's no way. Because it was too easy, man.
And here's the disappointment. The problem I have with it is this, okay? First of all, let me just they had a cupcake schedule. All right, I'm willing to admit it. They had a cupcake schedule. Yeah. All right, you go 10-2. Yes, you were entertaining, but Cam Ward is a unicorn. All right, you should have utilized him. You get a guy like that. If you don't make it to the ACC championship game, it's a disappointment.
Right, it's not even the playoff. You didn't even make it to the championship
exactly. We couldn't even make it to the championship game. Then we got a team like SMU who comes into the conference its first year.
Bought their way in with 200 mil.
And they're going to smoke Clemson, and they're going to the ACC championship, and we've only been to the championship one time.
Yeah, once, and you guys had it. You guys had it all in front of you. So now, if I have this right, this is the 6th game where you guys have given up in an ACC matchup. 6 games of 30 points or more.
Yes.
That honestly,
I don't know how the coordinator keeps his job.
And then at the end of our show, whenever you guys hear the soundbite that says winners get washed, well, Fran Brown got to take him a shower Saturday night. Okay, he got to take him a big old steamy shower Saturday night because he didn't have to walk around and stink because he didn't take the L.
His woman was probably happy with that.
Yeah, his wife said, "Come to bed, baby."
Exactly. And you know, it's quite embarrassing for Miami defensively. I've never seen it. In all my years, I played with Miami and watched Miami. I've never seen a defense this bad before. I mean, it's inexcusable. The amount of points. We're talking about the amount of points they're giving up to unranked teams. We're not talking about ranked teams. We're talking about unranked teams.
Yeah, Lance Guidry probably got to go.
Yeah, he has to go, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching the game. We can't get no pass.
Well, they got players. That's the problem. Is they have players in that side.
And then our defensive backs who are playing man coverage against their big receivers are getting ragdoll. They trying to play man press coverage against them. Those big receivers are just tossing them away from them. It's just.
I don't want to state the obvious, but Chris Farley will probably be available after this year in case you're interested.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Y'all look pretty good down
May
the stretch.
rest in peace. Yeah, that defense did come alive. That defense did come alive a little bit towards the end. And give Roberts credit, too, because his influence on the defensive side that came in. And then as I maintain, the current defensive coordinator, Jack Fyburn, you have to give him credit, too.
He's at least co-DC.
Because he definitely had an influence on that one. All right, real quick, because we're going to get ready to say hello to the quarterback whisperer, and we'll stay on college, and then we'll get back to the Jags. But Hard Rock.bet's got the odds out to make the college football playoff. Because we'll go through the top 25 coming up here in just a bit. But the odds to make it, Bama is minus 140 right now. South Carolina plus 250. And you're looking at Miami plus 800. And then Ole Miss plus 2250, which that probably won't happen. But the big controversy, and this might even be one of our topics tomorrow, is that does a 2-loss Miami deserve it more than a 3-loss SEC squad? Well, either one of them make it to the championship
I don't even
game
need to answer.
I
think he can answer it, and I think he'll be honest when he says this. Go ahead.
Well, I say what? That Miami?
No chance Miami deserves to be in that.
Well, let me. I can defend them a little bit. They'll put words in my mouth. All right. Now, I saw this statistic this morning. Alabama has played 6 teams, bowl-eligible teams, on the road, and their record is worse than Miami's 6 bowl-eligible teams on the road.
Love it. Love it. Loser logic. That's what we're employing right now.
You gonna stick with that?
I'm gonna stick. Hey, listen.
Hey, I just called it. It's loser logic.
Loser logic, baby.
Whatever it takes. All
Whatever
right.
it takes.
Let's get into the 3 o'clock hour. Quarterback Whisperer will stop in. But, yeah, there was definitely some surprises. And, by the way, they are on Ryan Day's derriere. They are ready to run him out of C-Bus because what they put out there on Saturday, oh, it was awful. All right, we'll get into that. Plenty more. Mokama Beer Company Monday. It is XL Primetime.
He may have started his career somewhere else, but he found his home in Duval.
Join me, Jeff Lageman, for Check to Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Jack's Napa Auto Care Group.com. Go to the pros Napa know-how on 1010XL.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing. If you're looking for a local plumbing company that's been around for a long time, we're talking over a quarter of a century, which means they make smiles, okay? You start with a frown, you call Roland Reese Plumbing, you say, I got a plumbing problem, and then all of a sudden you got a smile because you're back at it. You can do whatever you need to do when it comes to plumbing, and trust me, that is a necessity. So log on, plumbingjacksonville.com. If you have any repairs, maybe even a total reslab, you can count on them to do it. PlumbingJacksonville.com. When you've got a leak and can't wait a week, Roland Reese Plumbing.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
MyGate Rewards members, now through January 2nd, you'll get an entry for your chance to win free gas for a year each time you buy 5 eligible Monster Club products. Not a rewards member? Download the Gate app today. See store for details.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. There's nothing like the ambiance of a custom-built fireplace. The team at CSS can design and install the perfect setup, including wood, gas, and electric models, whether you want the elegance of an indoor fireplace or the warmth of an outdoor fire pit. You dream it, they build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Zahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched the home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
How many times a day does your heart beat? The answer coming up.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
At a rate of 60 beats a minute, your heart beats about 86,000 times a day. So it'd be wise to take good care of it.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by Gate Stores. The Orlando Magic extended their winning streak to 6, defeating the Brooklyn Nets on the road yesterday in a close game, winning 100-92. Head coach Jamal Mosley spoke post-game about the poise of the team after they've battled injuries and struggled to find a rhythm.
With it being as rough as it was, with there not being a real rhythm to the game, the poise that these guys showed is just a mark of a team that continues to grow. To be able to withstand whatever was happening throughout the game and not lose our heads, to keep our cool for the most part, keep our poise, says a lot about the growth of a team that understands what we're trying to accomplish.
The Magic stay on the road, taking on the Knicks in New York tomorrow at 7:30. You can listen to the game live on 1010 a.m. It's 63 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
They leave the offense on the field. They're going for it on 4th and 8 from the 22-yard line. Dropping an all-out blitz here. Max fires toward the right corner, and that ball is going to be caught by Parker Washington into the end zone. Touchdown. There's a touchdown. There's a flag on the play, but Parker went up and got it and ran it into the end zone. That'll be a touchdown for Jacksonville.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, I got a lot of reps today, a lot of targets, the most I probably had since college. You know, I had one drop, really a couple of drops, a lot of tough catches, but nothing's a tough catch. You know, you got to catch everything, especially when you touch your hands. But it was exciting to be able to get some reps. You know, my coach is trusting me to play outside. So it's just been cool to build on that because, like, in college, I wasn't playing outside. You know, I always been labeled as just a slot. So kind of just getting that off my back and just being labeled as a receiver is what I'm most excited about.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Don't forget their Wildlight location as well, and then always on the shelves at Total or ABC. Check out Mocama. You just heard Parker Washington in the locker room afterwards, and he was stoked with the extra playing time, which naturally any player is dying to get to where he can be featured in the passing game. And, of course, he's been more part of the game plan because of Christian Kirk's injury, which, gosh, it does seem like it's ages ago, doesn't it, when you think about it?
I mean, we were talking off the air, and the more you see him develop, the more I could see them saying goodbye to Christian Kirk. He stays. And then with that first overall pick, as much as I am an offensive line guy, and it should have been done last year, and then they wouldn't be in this predicament, this dilemma of what you do with 1 overall. It's going to be very hard after watching what Brian Thomas has done, okay? Mm-hmm. And the way he is an electric, dynamic guy that changes their offense. It's going to be very hard to just say no to Travis Hunter. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, very, very hard.
And he's a guy that is just so attractive. That's for sure.
Especially if you can figure it out in free agency and get a couple guys in the offensive line that can help you.
Yeah, just in terms of your game plan. By the way, I did talk to we're getting ready for our XL Primetime Christmas, our Toys for Tots Christmas every single year. We go out and do the golf tournament at the Golf Club of Southampton. Anyway, Palm Beach Autographs is always part of it. And so you mentioned BTJ. Palm Beach Autographs will have Brian Thomas Jr. At Fanatics exclusive, December 3rd, tomorrow evening from 6:30 to 8. So if you want to drop on by, all the details are right there at palmbeachautographs.com. But definitely check it out at the Avenues Mall tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8. And say hello to BTJ because he looks pretty dang good. So as you could say hello to him tomorrow night, let's say hello to the quarterback whisperer right now.
Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Denny Thompson in the house.
What's up, fellas?
What is up?
Mm-hmm. Crazy weekend.
Oh, my gosh, man. We were just talking about you weren't involved in any flag planting or fisticuffs or pepper spray or anything like that.
No, I thought about it.
In any of that?
I thought about it, but yeah, I figured I better not go down that road. But crazy weekend.
And by the way, if you were part of, and it's so funny because we talked about Rivalry weekend, and I know that everyone wants to think of college football needs to be played on Saturdays, but a Friday night Thanksgiving Day weekend game, I'll take it every single year. And this particular year included 1,000 overtimes between Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Wild.
Did it not?
Wild. Absolutely wild. Wildest game I've ever been to. I'll give it to Carson this year, man. I mean, he's put me through it this year. He's put me through some good games. I mean, the comeback in Tuscaloosa and then even Tennessee. I mean, they were down 10-0, and then just to watch them battle back. I've said this to you guys off air. I think Kirby Smart's done probably his best coaching job of his career this year. And that game was just, I mean, it was insanity. The whole thing was insanity. It was
anybody.
By the way, Key at Georgia Tech doing an unbelievable job.
But you know what though? Yeah. Why did he not go for 2 after that in the first overtime?
I don't know. I mean, who had the ball first? Was it
Georgia did?
Yeah, that's tough.
How do you not do that?
I think
he's like banking on winning a game of attrition against Georgia, and that's not happening.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Georgia had not stopped them from from a 3-yard gain the entire night,
and so that is more of the reason to go for it.
That's why I'm saying. Why wouldn't you not go for that?
Yeah, I mean that's true. Because I looked at that as like in real time. I was kind of hoping they would because I didn't want to see it go to overtime. Mm-hmm. I thought, my gosh, like how is Georgia going to stop Georgia Tech at 2 point
I meant in the first overtime.
I understand what you're saying, yeah. But it was like I just didn't want to see it.
Continue.
The longer and longer it went, the more I was convinced Georgia Tech would win.
100% on that because they were down 17-0, Leon, and they just kept coming back. And again, Kirby just keeps willing them. I do agree with Denny that he just keeps giving them more opportunities to get the job done. They came back, they tied the game up, and then all the momentum was on their side.
And it's sad. It's not sad, but y'all laughed at me about Georgia Tech. I told you.
Oh my
they
gosh.
run 5 plays to perfection. They don't run but 5 plays.
5 plays out of like 20
They do a
formations.
really good job at attacking space, man. Like they figured out that coverage that Georgia likes to play, and they kept attacking the same thing where you could not be right. And, I mean, Buster was at Georgia. Their offensive coordinator was at Georgia for a long time, so he's seen that defense a lot.
Now, would you agree with this? It felt like he was a step ahead of Kirby for most of that game, which I never, ever would have suggested that.
Yeah.
Ahead of Schumann, definitely, yeah.
I mean, I don't, and that's the weird thing with Georgia is it's like, going into this Texas week, the last time those two teams saw each other, Texas could do nothing. But now Georgia's coming off back-to-back weeks against now UMass and Georgia Tech, where they've given up a ton of yards.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know what Georgia team is going to show up from week to week, but it's got to be frustrating for Kirby too.
It just had everything, and it was funny.
It's cold too.
It freezing, yeah. But I felt like the hug the coach bro hug at the end of the game was longer than 8 overtimes.
Right.
But it was just, it spoke to the emotion that both of these guys were exhausted because they knew their teams were exhausted and had given everything. And so Kirby had Keys, his arm around him, and they talked for a good minute and a half.
I'm with you, though. I love this Friday night thing because a couple years ago it was Florida State.
Yeah. And Ole Miss, Mississippi State was once a Friday, typically on Thursday, but was once a Friday. Yeah.
And the Florida State game, if I remember right, that year it was like
2 years ago.
Yeah, I think if it wouldn't have been Friday night, it would have been like a noon game or something.
Something like that.
Ended up being a great environment.
It was.
This game on Friday night was a great environment. I actually love that game.
So let me ask you this, and I don't want you to like divulge any private conversations you have with Carson, but we've heard over and over that Kirby is really, really hard on his team, on his assistant coaches. He drives them.
Yep.
Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's the fact. Why has he not reached this team, or has this team at this point kind of like tuned him out a little bit, or tunes him out occasionally is what it looks like?
Yeah, I actually don't think that at all. I think he has reached this team. I just don't know that this team is as talented as the teams he's had in the past.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my read. I mean, again, I have been at every game with the exception of 2 and have been in Athens every week since last January. And I just, when you look at everything that's happened around that program, and now you could argue at times that maybe that's, selection issues and things like that, but they've had a lot of legal issues. They've lost a lot of guys. They've had a ton of injuries, more than your average team has. And then now you look at how many young guys is playing. I mean, they handed the ball off to number 20 the other day, and I'm like, who is that? Like, I've been at every game. I'm like, who is that? And then a couple weeks ago, they had a kid, Nitro, number 2 in. I know nothing about him. I just think it's been one of those years. And I think as a team and as a program, they've had to fight for everything they've got, and they've done that. And I think there's times where you look at the Alabama, you look at the other night, look at Tennessee. A lot of teams would quit on their coach if they're not lockstep. And they didn't. I mean,
there's a lot of NFL talent on that defense.
Well, sure. But they're not. Is it NFL talent? There's Malachi. There's obviously the Russians.
Another Walker.
Nazir in the middle.
Three's a good player.
Yeah, Walker's so good.
But I just don't think it's the suffocating that they've had in the past. But here's where I'm getting with this, Matt. If it was a coaching problem, they wouldn't have come back from 30.
No, I don't think it's a coaching problem. I was just saying.
Well, I'm saying if he's pushing them too hard and they're not responding to that, I don't think you come back from 30. I don't think you come back from 10. I don't think you come back from 17 and all the other things. But it takes a special person to play at Georgia right now. I tell anybody, any quarterback that wants to go there, it's different there.
Like, if anything, maybe the tune-out rate happens during or towards the end of the week because he is so hard and intense. And again, this is just a theory. And they go down 10-0. They go down 17-0. They go down 3 scores or more to Alabama. And then all of a sudden, he starts coaching, and they start listening.
I also think it's they get up for big games. And I don't know why. For whatever reason, and maybe I'm wrong about this. It didn't look like they were zeroed in on that game early against Georgia.
So this is an interesting conversation because I have never thought of it at these angles. I see this completely differently. I see this as a team who every single week has had to play the nighttime, prime time. All the focus is on
the Dallas Cowboys of the college football.
And
so you think that the fact that they have the target on their back every week,
and they've been on the road up until recently, and I think that just wears on you.
Okay,
I really believe that. I mean, I'm not playing, but I'm going every week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're doing this again. It's just been one of those years. I was telling somebody earlier, I think it's been the perfect comeback year for Carson because he's had to deal with a lot of things he's never had to deal with before. But that's the way I see it. I honestly think that that Kirby's probably got the attention of this team more so than he's had of most teams.
Real quick, going back to, we were talking about the defense and whether or not Faulkner was ahead of him as far as his call sheet. Fran Brown is cut from that Kirby cloth, and he went up there to Syracuse, and he has proven that he is obviously taking that blueprint, taking it up there to Syracuse and doing the same thing. It's hard to keep, if you do lose coaches, and he has lost a couple of good ones in Monken and Brown, if you think about it, and then just kind of keeping it together, that ain't easy either.
No, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think the portal's been the great equalizer in the sense of everybody's got 20 dudes now.
NIL, yeah.
Yep. Everybody's got those guys, and nobody's got 70 guys anymore because you're just not going to keep those. I think college football is amazing right now. I think it's entertaining. There's a lot of things that aren't necessarily great about it, but you even look at something like Florida and what they were able to do. Y'all, I mean, 3 months ago, it was impossible that Napier was going to keep this job.
Right.
He may get an extension.
Well, he's probably going to be the coach of the year in that league.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just you can turn things around so quickly. If you're in Tallahassee, you love to hear that. But the same can be true. You can also have a huge downfall as well. So you got to be elite at what you do right now.
All right, let's make this a 10-10 take real quick because Matt just made me think of something. Coach of the year. You putting Billy Napier up there for Coach of the year? Here we go.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
So who is Coach of the year? That is one you could chew on. You can get you a rack of ribs. You still may not reach a conclusion by the time you've enjoyed all that great Sonny's Barbecue and all those tremendous sides. But Shane Beamer has closed out the season winning 6 in a row, beating his rival on their carpet, which is something he has struggled to do, at least with any consistency whatsoever. And so now I think we read the odds from hardrock.bet earlier, +250, maybe a little bit higher than that, +800 to get to the college football playoff. And you've got to give him some serious credit because they are in the conversation. Billy's pulled them out of the ashes in Gainesville, which has been great. But Shane's doing something in South Carolina.
Billy dug them up, not just pulled them out of the ashes.
Yeah. But Shane's doing something that hadn't been done since Orr was up there. And so he has clicked off 6 straight wins, is still in the college football playoff conversation as a 3-loss team. And Lenora Sellers, oh my gosh, is that guy some kind
and he's,
of
it's funny. So, number one, I was the guy who said he was either going to get fired or be coach of the year, right?
Yeah.
So,
Who? Beamer?
Yeah.
No, Napier.
Napier.
Matt said it.
I said if he was going to get fired in the first month of the season or be coach of the year, and he almost got fired in the first month of the year.
And he's almost
did both.
And he's almost coach of the year. I'm glad you brought up Lenora Sellers because I want to talk to Denny about him. He really struggled early as a thrower, but only because it's his first year as a starter, man. Right. But boy, by the end of the year, Denny,
talented.
I hate to say this.
Yeah.
He looks like a little bit like Cam Newton, man.
He
does.
looks some kind of good. All right, so hold that because I want to pair that up with what Leon said earlier about Cam Ward and wasting Cam Ward. So we'll do both of those because Lenore's put himself on the map. That's for sure. It's XL Primetime.
Learn the ins and outs and ups and downs of the man under center.
Don't just watch the position, learn the position.
Friday mornings on The Drill. Denny Thompson is
the quarterback whisperer.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say,
"What? Huh?" I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Tiffany Mapp in Jacksonville at 683-8368.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation
We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
It's a sale so big, Santa wants to get in on it.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible 44th anniversary sale, held over till Christmas Eve. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 44% off.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. What a weekend we just had in the betting streets. Did you cash in betting with MyBookie? If you didn't, well, you have Monday Night Football tonight. The Cleveland Browns are on extra rest, traveling to play the Denver Broncos. Both of these teams are coming off a win, and the Broncos are 5.5-point favorites with a 42-point over-under. The Broncos have been taking care of business against teams with a losing record. I'd expect them to win by a touchdown and cover the spread at home against Jameis Winston and the Browns. Guys, MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can just sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie. Don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Jingle bells, plumbing's gone astray. A burst pipe, no hot water clogged drain on Christmas Day. That's no holiday. Call Duck Duck Rooter. We're faster than Santa's sleigh.
904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Joe C. for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full-service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Got another seg with our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, hanging out with us, and we really couldn't help but go straight to the college ball because it was 8, right?
8.
Yeah. And they set a record for the longest overtime.
That's not. I can't.
Penn State's record, 9.
It's how much?
Penn State, Illinois went 9.
Was it 9? Okay.
Well, I mean, I can't
Maybe
even count. Like, if you went 6 overtimes back in the day from the 25,
No, Penn State Illinois was one of the 2-point ones.
But it was also
it
was?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
See, like the Ole Miss, what was the old one? Ole Miss, Arkansas, I think went like 6 or 7. That was crazy.
That was with Houston Nutt. That's how far back we're going. Yeah.
Yes. Texas A&M, LSU.
Yeah.
Remember when Illinois lined up? They literally lined up with 9 offensive linemen in that game.
Yeah.
And ran a ball. 9 offensive linemen, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, and tried to run it.
So, real quick, before we get back to quarterbacks, Leon, and we got to get back to the Cam Ward discussion that we were just having with Lenore Sellers as well. But do you like just 2-point conversions? Because this is supposed to lessen the number of plays that they have in overtime, or does it just look funky and clunky?
No, I was entertained.
I loved it.
I absolutely was entertained. I try to tell you about Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And even Georgia with all that defensive prowess they have, they struggle stopping the run and
Haynes King.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, that 2-point conversion stuff. Talk about some bodies flying around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're a yes guy too.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not.
Go back to.
Yeah, I think that I would like to. I know they wanted to make less plays, but they didn't make it safer.
Mm-hmm.
They did not make it safer.
No, because the 2-point conversions are literally
slam, man.
brutal.
It's
One
slam.
play of like, oh my
My
gosh.
son said to me, we were leaving, and my son was like, they should do that in the NFL. I was like, people would die.
Right.
If you
Right.
put 2 NFL teams and said, you've got to make a 2-point conversion to advance to the playoffs or in the playoffs or not, people would die.
See, that's what I want to know what Big Searcy had to say from a line. And by the way, even though this really didn't matter, particularly Friday night, but having to go back and forth, you got to go 95 yards on a trot.
Plus,
and
I mean,
and
quite
a big
honestly,
man like Leon's like, what the heck? Just let me settle this on
Facts.
one end of the
That's
field.
true. That's facts.
it also kind of evens the playing field for the offensively challenged teams.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like if you can somehow get to that third overtime for whatever reason,
Right.
and you're not as good offensively, you've got a chance to steal a game.
As much as I love what Brent Key did throughout the course of that game with the like Leon describes, kind of a small play sheet, but Haynes King was just running his butt off. He could not. Kirby just kept dialing up a blitzer, and he didn't have an answer for it.
I don't think he had a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't blitz, Georgia Tech did whatever they wanted. 17 for Georgia. I can't remember his name right now. He's a heck of a player. I don't know why. I can't believe it.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Player of the game.
Is it Dan Campbell? That's Campbell. I don't know if it's Dan.
Yeah, I don't.
You talking 17?
17.
Oh, my
Dan.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be Campbell, actually.
Yeah, I mean, to watch that kid in 2-point conversions, like just a reckless abandon. He does not care about his body at all.
Yeah.
By the way, that was targeting.
I do want to hear.
King.
I do want
that
to
was a
hear
question
your
on the text
thought on
line,
that
too.
though. Like on a 2-point conversion like that, how physical does that get? If it's a ball game in that
Dan
situation,
Dan Jackson.
Yeah, Dan Jackson.
So as far as offensive linemen,
yeah.
I mean, everyone's in desperation. I mean, you're talking about it's a battlefield. Because
Can you imagine lining up and doing 8 of them?
No, I cannot. I would not. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That was absurd what I saw. But I enjoyed every moment of it. I'm not gonna lie.
By the way, bro, that was targeting on Dan Jackson. They didn't even look at it. Didn't even look at it, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That was one of our
listen,
texters.
There's holding. There was a pass
There is.
interference.
There's no
they
doubt
missed.
there is. There's no doubt there is. All I'm telling you is that 100% was targeting.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
I just after yesterday, like hearing people defend what that guy did to Trevor is one of the most disgusting things that I've.
Who's defending it?
Oh my gosh, I
Really?
all over talking about he didn't have enough time to react. That's on Trevor for sliding too late. It's all over.
Wow.
I can see it's just it's a bunch of people trying to be masculine.
Okay, so from what was your initial thoughts? Just start right there.
When it happened, I stood up and just mouth wide open and just literally praying he was okay.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I didn't care about the fight. I didn't care about anything else. I just watched Trev.
Yeah.
Because
Be
that
okay.
is so dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only reckless, it's dangerous. It's I don't know, man. I haven't had a sinking feeling in my stomach like that because that's the first time that's really happened to somebody I know. Like I've watched Tua and you feel and you're emotional. And like I know Trevor.
Yeah.
And to watch that happen, it was just like, oh my gosh. Didn't think about the other guy. Didn't think about who did it. It was just like, what did I just witness and why? What's the point of it?
Yeah. It was dirty from the jump. There was intent. You can't. I don't think you can debate that. And so, how do you get rid of that? Can you get rid of that? Was it too late of a slide? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, how do you keep that one guy from pulling up? Because you have the classic move where it's either El Boogie or it's Mahomes, whatever, and they fake slide and then they take off. It was such a dirty hit.
I remember a couple years ago, Kenny Pickett did that. You guys remember that? Kenny Pickett, fake slide.
Yeah.
And I remember I went on social media and pitched a fit because of that exact reason. Like, dude, you can't do that. You're protected. Like, you can't have it both ways. In this situation, though, Trevor's 6'6".
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's faking any slides. Like,
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't think this was a situation where you really had to worry about that.
No, and like we said, a load up, would you say 4 yards before you get there, you decide you're going to try and lay the lumber?
Yeah, but he had the opportunity to give up himself at some particular moment to where he could have did this, and then I've seen a lot of guys have ill content, but then when they see him to slide,
fall off.
They do this.
Fly over.
Yeah, fly over it.
Yep.
Something like that. So, I mean, that was intentional. For whatever reason, he felt like he needed to launch his body and pretty much get underneath Trevor's, because he hit him underneath the chin, bro.
It was the forearm, right?
Yeah, it was the forearm with the brace.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's the worst, man.
Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah.
And you do. And the way and I did the same thing, Denny. I'm in the press box and I look down, I'm like, be okay. I mean, that's kind of what you're thinking. You're like, oh my God.
It just don't have to be like that. Like, if it's already a physical sport, you don't have to be dumb about it.
Yeah. When you think about that, and I don't know if you've been around anybody that you had to factor in concussions, but what are you telling a quarterback? What are you telling one of your guys if this happens and now he's in protocol? You saw what happened. Would you be saying, with this record at this time of the year, shut it down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last week I went hard about you don't shut it down if you're Trevor.
Yeah.
And this week I'm going to do a 180 given the situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, don't even think about it. I mean, just it don't even need to be a thought. You just completely heal. And let's just get to next year. Yeah. I mean, that I don't know. It's just sombering, man. It just it's not just the weekend with all the fights and listen, I get it. It's an emotional game, but we're already playing a very physical football, a very physical game. We just don't need to add anything to that.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I agree, and I was talking about this earlier. Is that the football field is already violent enough. All right, we get after each other and that kind of stuff, whatever. But we never have ill intent to try to hurt anybody. We want to win, because there's a battle of wills. I got to be able to move you from a spot that you don't want to move from. That kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So I mean, when you get to the point where you got a guy who did what they did to Trevor, I mean, you could see the reaction of the Texans players, because some of the Texans players were like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't go. You try to be physically imposing on the team, the guy you're going up against, but you never ever try to hurt anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And Leon, I'm around the game enough that I know that you guys, this is one of the greatest talents that you guys all have, is you've got this ability to take your mind and put it into a place where you're perfectly okay going out there and smashing into other humongous grown men as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not logical. So you have to take your head, and I get that you have to be that, and I get that you have to be, everything you can be, because you're going to feel every hit if you don't. But that's just past that line. It's just it's so grossly past that line. I said on social media, I think the kid should be suspended for a year. The guy should be suspended for a year.
Yeah, so that's a big – if you go year, and we were talking 4 games at a minimum, I don't mind the rest of the season. I have no problem with that either, because he had just been fined for a hit last week.
Yeah.
And so you have to at some point – and I'll use Vontaze Burfict as an example. That was one of the more vicious hits ever that we saw against Antonio Brown. And he had a pattern. And so you had to do something. And yeah.
Well, I just don't call every little – time that somebody bumps the quarterback the same foul with the same punishment that is.
Yeah.
That's 2 different plays, 2 different intents, as Leon said.
Yeah.
Like, you got to pay for that intent.
Yes.
I firmly believe that, and I don't think that a game or even a $50,000 or $100,000 one-time fine is enough. I just don't. You made the decision to risk somebody.
And how about offsetting penalties?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so last week when he hit Tony Pollard, it was just an $11,000 fine.
Did you know that Anthony Richardson got fined more than that?
Yeah.
He got fined $20-something thousand for lowering his head and going into the end zone last week.
For lowering his head.
Yeah. So running in through somebody to go in the end zone. And you're telling me this guy got fined $11,000 for a violent hit? Yeah.
Yeah. And when he punched Roschon Johnson in week 2, it was $11,917.
So we got 11,000 first time, another 11,000 the second time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like
How's
literally
that make sense?
taking a $20 bill out of his pocket. He doesn't care.
It's
like if you fine him $500,000, then he'll stop.
Yeah.
What's this one going to be? What's y'all's prediction?
Well, the fine?
Fine and suspension.
25,000 fine, and then probably
four games.
I think
2 games.
I think it should be probably 2 games in 100.
Mm-hmm.
You hit him with
100
100.
might hurt.
100 might hurt a
more.
little bit.
A quarter mil hurt a lot more.
Yeah, but come on, now. Christmas, Steve. Come on. Come on, man.
Just make it payable after.
You hit him with 250, and he's never hitting anybody like that ever again.
I don't think that's true, though.
You think he's going to hit somebody like that again after losing 250,000?
That's why he's good at what he does.
Yeah,
that's why he's good at what he does. I mean, I recognize that too.
Yeah, that one was ugly, and he may rethink that type of move again, but they still love to blow people up.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. All right, Denny, we appreciate it as always.
Thanks, guys.
At Denny_Thompson, the quarterback whisperer, hanging out with us on a Mokama Monday.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Post-Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Devin Lloyd was beasting and feasting against the Texans. The teal and black linebacker recorded 6 tackles over the weekend, with 3 being solo, and also had a pass defense on Sunday. Lloyd showcased what makes him superior on the field and is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go see the Winter Storms in Vancouver. So you read a couple reviews and talk to some friends and book it. Maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, It's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, talk to a few friends, and try something out, then it doesn't work, and you're disappointed. And we've all been there, and it blows. Stop trying to do all that. Do what I did. Reach your goal with Awaken 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost 115 now, I believe. You can too. Trust me, it was simple. A word you never hear used with weight loss programs. Unless, of course, you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
When mice and rats show up in your space, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they'll keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so do we. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 2nd, 1934, Miami quarterback Dan Marino breaks NFL's single-season touchdown pass record, throwing for his 37th, and the Dolphins lost to the Raiders.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarrOrthopedics.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The reaction of the Jaguars broadcast to the hit that knocked Trevor Lawrence out of Sunday's game.
Trevor's looking. He wants to run it to midfield. Slides in. Oh, he got drilled. What in the world? He absolutely got drilled, and there's a melee, and I don't blame him. He slid to the ground. He's still on the ground. That's about as cheap a shot as you'll ever see in the NFL.
It's a brawl. It's a flat-out brawl. And Evan Ingram went at the linebacker. Aziz Al-Shair hits Trevor Lawrence as he's going feet first down to the ground, and I think Trevor got KO'd.
What a cheap shot that was.
Call courtesy of Jaguars Radio. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is that as much as I love my Miami Hurricanes, I'm a bit disappointed in the 2 losses. Don't get me wrong now. They were entertaining, absolutely, but the job wasn't to entertain me. St. Gladiator. The job was to win a championship. And when you got a unicorn like Cam Ward and you spend that kind of money on the offense and you putting up points, your defense, you can't score 35 and your defense give up 40. Just not going to happen. Inexcusable. And now you got to backdoor your way into the college football playoffs instead of taking the lead like you're supposed to. So Shame on you.
Disgusting.
I don't know if it's going to happen. It may, but I don't know if it's going to happen for him.
For entertainment purposes, I hope it does.
All right, my takeaway is, I mean, honestly, just find the guy $250,000. You want him to stop. You want this crap to stop in your league of players hitting quarterbacks, because that's what this is all about. Because the whole idea is to protect the quarterbacks. You want it to stop. Just levy a significant fine on the next guy to do it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is the moment right here. Okay, a significant fine, and watch these guys pull off as far as hitting quarterbacks from then on.
Well, we were talking about it before, and this comes down to pass. You can go down the line of penalties that can be thrown against defenders. PI being the biggest, hits to the quarterback being another big one, targeting, launching, all this stuff, and they have been in their mind basically declawed, and so they don't like that at all because the more fines they get.
Big difference between being declawed and a dirty shot.
I totally get it.
Big
Look,
difference.
I'm not even arguing the point that I'm just saying for them to keep their job, they make a lot more money than they're going to get fined if they do a dirty hit. And so this was dirty. I say suspend and fine. I have no problem with that. Lose game checks, pay a big fine, and I'm all for it. But they already, in the minds of defenders, protect the quarterbacks too much. This one was just way over the top. A disgusting hit. And so I don't know whether you're going to be able to get it out of the game. Heck, Rex Ryan said on one of the shows this morning that get rid of that slide because it sets up where a defender can hit you and knock your head right into the turf. I don't know. I think the slide's probably the safest way to go about it.
So then if you get rid of the slide, then what?
Because you're leaving that linebacker, safety, whomever it is, to a split-second decision right at the last second. Because these quarterbacks will, even though they're giving themselves up, they'll wait till the last possible second to go for the slide. And that means that defender may engage.
Right, but if you get rid of the slide,
then you got
how does a quarterback protect himself?
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's a running back
saying,
now.
He's basically saying, you die. I'm just telling you
what the defensive coordinator saying.
That part.
Yeah. He's just saying, dive at the feet of the defender. Then the defender's got to defend himself. Then the defender doesn't get to level the shot. The defender's got to protect himself because you're diving right at it, right at his feet. And at least it was his theory. I have no problem with him saying.
I'm sure there won't be any head injuries with quarterbacks diving at the feet of defenders.
I'm just telling you what he said. That's all. I mean, the whole idea, we see a lot of violent.
No, I agree. But he, of all people, he says some really stupid things.
Yeah.
And this one falls right in line there.
I love Rex.
I do too, but he says some really dumb things.
Yeah, but just when he's engaging in the slide, just pull up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And you do have the athletic ability that a player has to make split-second decisions and know when to do something and when not to do something. Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get that in real quick, RJ. Hit it with it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So this will be the first of many, because the transfer portal is open now, or will be open in a couple of days, but these guys are already saying they're leaving. Caden Salter, the quarterback at Liberty, who was a guy that everybody wanted in last year's portal, but he decided to stay at Liberty. He's a talented quarterback, a guy that, I don't know, maybe Miami might want.
Mm-hmm. But
he's now officially in the portal for his final season of eligibility.
Another quarterback rental for Miami is what you're saying?
Yeah, he's also he was under Hugh Freeze, obviously, when he was at Liberty.
Yeah.
So I could very easily see Hugh trying to sign him. But if you're Caden Salter and you got one more year, are you going to go into that mess?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to go to Miami, which is basically set up to win?
Well,
you're going to go, I mean, quite frankly, you're going to go to Ohio State, which is set up to win.
Right. There's a lot of other good around him, is your point, and that's for sure, is that go to where you can best succeed.
Yeah.
And following Hugh is not necessarily the best place to succeed. Peyton Thorne, oh my gosh. That was bad. Now, real quick, when we think about the portal and everything that's going to happen, recruiting is also right around the corner, okay? And I don't know how this all is going to go down, but we're talking about players that are committing right here at the last second. The early signing period is now carrying more weight than the later signing period, which is the old one first Wednesday in February. And so we'll see where that ultimately goes.
So Billy Napier's flipped 11 players in the last 2.5 weeks. 11.
It's a lot, man.
And apparently he's closing in on the kid from Mandarin, the safety from Mandarin, who's a Miami commit, a top 100 player.
Mm-hmm.
The crystal ball now at 24/7 Sports has him signing with Florida, which would be another big flip.
Right. And getting players, honestly, we all agree, is that's what you want. The best way to be able to look good as a coach walking the sidelines on Saturday is have the best players on your
You know
field.
what it is, honestly? I think these kids are watching this team now, and I hate to say this, but it's real. They're watching DJ Lagway, and they're thinking, that dude's going to win a championship.
And the other
He's like, I'm telling you right now, that dude is rare out there. I don't know where they are or where they are as far as the process of doing what they're doing. But that dude, if they put people around him,
Leon just gave the eye roll.
Cow,
do you know that our dude is up for the Heisman? A high 75 flipping 10-2.
I agree with you. All I'm telling you is this: if DJ Lagway played in Miami, they wouldn't have a loss right now.
She don't know that. With that defense, please.
That's
are you
true.
serious?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And
really not now. I mean, I meant like next year. If he played there next year, they'd be like. I mean,
but
God, that kid. Some of the throws he makes,
but
with guys hanging on him.
As much as I love watching this
in that
guy
offense,
play,
that's very like Fred Flintstone rudimentary offense.
I was going to say he only generated about 160 yards of passing.
It's literally like Barney Rubble over there calling plays. Yeah. Seriously.
So it's still okay to let him be in charge. Just as long as he keeps.
I didn't say let him. He should hire an offensive coordinator. There's no doubt he should.
We will find out if he does that. But it's funny because the yards compared to Cam Ward are, 1/5, 1/4, something like that.
Another 350-yard game that they lose.
Yeah,
where he puts up 38 points. The defense gives up 42.
By the way,
and it's like we just talked about
earlier.
There
will be teams throwing money at him this offseason.
At
DJ. They will be calling his people saying, we'll give you X because it's clear. It's obvious what kind of player he is.
Yeah, but it's like we just talked about earlier. Lenore Sellers has emerged, has developed into this dynamic cat that can take off and run, and he doesn't necessarily make all the throws just yet, but there's a bunch of these guys that are in our college.
By the way, Lenore Sellers also will get a ton of money thrown at him this offseason.
That's it's not rent a cop, it's rent a quarterback.
I gotta get this one Mario thing off my chest though. All right. No, it's been bothering me. I didn't get it off my chest. 4th down and goal to go. All right. Less than 4 minutes to go in the game. You haven't stopped them at all.
At all.
The whole game.
Right.
And you kick a freaking field goal.
What was he doing there?
I don't understand that. And you got the Heisman Trophy. You got a Heisman Trophy candidate back here. Yeah. A 4th down.
Who you've relied on all year,
season.
and who's made plays all year. Yes.
And you kick a field goal, and
what was he
doing?
And
you surrender. I have no idea what he was doing.
Weak-minded, right there.
It was.
That was a surrender cobra right there.
That is. That ticked me off.
Yeah.
That is. I had to get off my chest. Yeah. I wasn't going to be able to sleep tonight.
And if you're a head coach, it's like we said, if you're a head coach and you're on the sidelines, you know what you've got. Okay? You know what you're going to give the ball back to them, and you're not going to be able to stop them. And you just put 3 on the board, they're going to come for 7.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Even if you go for it and you don't get it, at least they're back. At least you got them back at the 10.
Yeah.
You kick the field goal. Now they get the ball at the 30. And they got to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't understand it. If you go for it and you don't get it, they're at least inside the 10-yard line.
Let me real quick say, DJ Lagway is only part of the reason why these guys are flipping. The other reason is the straight cash Florida's throwing to people.
Well,
just straight cash.
Yeah, but I love when we talk about this because Ohio State spent all the money they possibly could.
Right.
And look what they got.
41 mil.
Yeah. That's a lot of cash.
$20 million for players, 10 for the head coach, 10.1
That's
for
big
the
head
assistants.
cheddar right there.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we're done. We say thanks to Mocama Beer Company. You can find them in beautiful Fernandina on South 8th Street, also their Wildlight location, on the shelves at ABC and Total, and you can log on mocama.com. Great story with a local microbrew getting it done. We are done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ. You got the Francis Show coming up next.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
You know, one